Good morning, you motherfuckers. Good morning, you badass motherfuckers. How the fuck you guys doing today? Oh shit. We coming back here, starting a whole new week. Monday, motherfuckers, with time changes. How many of you guys are an hour fucking behind today? Mentally, emotionally, physically, you're an hour fucking behind. You're like, why's my alarm going off and it's dark? Good morning, you badass motherfuckers. Oh shit. We starting a whole new week, aren't we? Dang, man. How's everybody doing, man? That time change fuck you up? Waking up and it's still dark? Some of y'all need that. You need to feel that fucking red eye. Getting up early, right? Spending time with yourself. That's the power hours, motherfuckers. That's the fucking power hour. Getting up in the morning, gratitude, just fucking positive affirmations, man, meditation, spending time with yourself, spending time in the Bible, whatever your thing is, man. It's like get up and spend some time reflecting. How many of y'all motherfuckers got to go do some miserable work today, man? Be honest. How many of y'all hate your fucking life, hate your job, hate everything you're doing, right? Just frustrated. You know, much longer you gonna allow yourself to do that? Right? How much longer in this day and age are you gonna keep punching a clock that you miserable as fuck? Come on now. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to find the courage, the strength, the fortitude, right? The guts to like switch some shit up in this day and age. Look how crazy this world is, man. How many of y'all waking up on a new Monday and you're just like, oh my God, I hate my life, right? There's got to be some of you. Some of you, I know you got to hate what the fuck you doing for a living. You making that paycheck. Maybe this week's payday. Maybe today's payday. But you hate it. You're miserable. How much longer are you going to stay there in that psychological drama, right? And I ain't telling you to go quit your job, walk into the job. I heard a really cool story. I mean, sure, everybody knows who Steve Harvey is. And he told his incredible story. I never really heard his story. I always hear a lot of his motivational stuff. And I like listening to Steve Harvey, especially when he's talking about motivation and life. But I hadn't really heard him tell his life story. And he told it yesterday about how he got started in comedy, right? That he had seen an amateur night comedy thing, and a friend of his or somebody, an acquaintance had challenged him to go try it, go do something. And so he said, all right, man, fuck it, I'll go do it. And like he was broke as a joke, didn't have no money. And he went and did it. And actually he signed up, but he went to the little comedy place and he wasn't supposed to be there till the following week, so he was just checking it out, but he was signed up for the following week. Well, one of the guys didn't show up, and so they went to the next week and they said they called his name and they put him up there and he just started fucking talking. He was like, oh shit, I'm on the spot. Oh shit. And so he just started like telling stories, right? Telling stories, getting jokes. And at the end of the day, at the end of the night, they did a second round and they did an applause meter of who was the funniest, and he won. And from that moment forward, he won $50, right? To tell some jokes on the spot in an amateur night comedy club. The very next day, he knew that night that it was like the universe giving him the answer. Like, man, to his dreams, like all the hardships he had been through, you know, being fucking from the streets. And he walked into his job the very next day and he quit, right? I am not telling you to do that. But he also talks about how tough his life was. He said, like, the first year he made $3,000 for the year, motherfuckers, doing comedy. The second year is like 4,000, 5,000. And then you look at him now and you see that wealth and it's like, motherfuckers just want to come up quick, right? Everybody wants to come up quick, right? You want to win the lotto. You want instant gratification. It's like you have an urge for something and you know what is your default, right? You feeling stressed out, you know what is your default. Go fucking kick back a couple brewskis, go fucking smoke a bowl, get high, right? To numb the pain, to fucking chill you out, take you out of the mindset that is reality, right? Facing the reality of your life. And it's like, you are the author of your story. So if you feel miserable, it's because you have created a story and a narrative in your own life that is not fulfilling you, right? No one in America, no one in this country has a gun held to their head saying you have to go do whatever the fuck it is you're doing, unless you've signed like a contract, like in the military, you sign your fucking life away, right? During my time as an enlisted, 5 years, I mean, I signed my life away. I had to do what they wanted, when they wanted, for as long as they wanted, where they wanted, and that's how that shit went down. And yet most of you have not had that experience. Most of you can break contracts, can break relationships, a lot of you can walk out of relationships if they ain't suiting you well. Not all of you, because some of you are staying in toxic relationships that are fucking draining you of your life energy, making you more miserable, but there's codependency there. And the same is true with your job. Like, you're afraid. You're like, fuck, I don't know what else I could do. This is who I am. And that's the story you're telling yourself, is I don't know what else I could do. I don't have education. I don't have whatever that missing piece is that could get you to the next level, or to help you to start something of your own business, right? Which is not easy, right? But nothing in life fucking is. Getting up and going to a miserable job on a Monday morning is not easy, you guys. Psychologically, mentally, emotionally, physically. If you are already drained before you even get in the car and drive off to work, what does that say? Right? What does it say about you? How do you, it takes a lot of energy to do that. Right? And it drains you of your life, and you're wasting your time, your precious time. And I'm someone that, I've kind of had that broad spectrum of career opportunities. Like, coming up early, my first jobs was always working with kind of like my mom, doing landscaping, pulling weeds. But even as soon as I could, I started working in the retail space. And then, joining the military by the time I was 17, right? I was 17 when I enlisted, had to get in there on a waiver, getting out of that, starting a business, right? And then being my own business fucking man, for an entrepreneur for basically about 10, 12 years, and then losing it all and coming back and rebuilding. And so, like, I know what it is to kind of go through these cycles. And the one thing I've learned through it all, right, is I'm not going to do something that doesn't align with me, right? I am empowered enough that I'm going to pick and choose, that the jobs that I do have to give me purpose, have to give me meaning. They have to align with bigger goals beyond the job, beyond the career. Like, when I was at Santa Fe Community College, it's like I was making an impact in people's lives. Like, not only was I like finishing up my own dreams and getting college education knocked out, 3 fucking college degrees in my 30s, highest being a master's degree in business administration. But every single day I had an opportunity to make a difference in someone else's life. And that's really important to me. That's why it's a part of my daily 5. Making a difference is a part of my fucking lifestyle. And so I'm fortunate enough that my mindset, I know what it is to have an abundance, just cash money fucking everywhere, 20s. And then I know what it is to like have time in abundance. And now I'm trying to find a balance to say, like, I don't want to have a boss. I'm willing to fight. I'm willing to go to whatever extent in my life to not have a fucking boss ever again. That shit's fucking, bosses suck. Most bosses suck, right? If you have a good boss, you take care of them, right? If they're taking care of you, if you have someone that's very thoughtful, kind, caring, maybe even myself as a boss, I really try and value people and take care of people. Because I know in times when I've had bosses and I feel like unsafe to like ask for time off to go pick up my kids, step away from the job to do like parental stuff, even my own stuff. That shit sucks. When you have an environment that's so demanding of you, it wants to be the focus of your life. Like none of our jobs should be the focus of our lives, right? It's like, do you live to work or do you work to live? Do you live to work, meaning that's all you're doing, man, is fucking punching the clock day in, day out, week in, week out? Or do you work to live, right? Do you know the balance? I posted a picture up there about balance. Balance, a lot of people think of balance like symmetrical and all this shit, but we all have a different view and understanding on everything, really. But when we think about balance alone, balance is a very interesting thing in life. I heard one of my buddies was telling me the other day, there's no such thing as balance, or balance isn't a real thing. It's like bullshit, man. You do want balance. I need balance. I need to have fucking harmony and balance inside, internally speaking. I can't control what the fuck's happening outside. But for me to be balanced inside, meaning that I'm regulated emotionally, right? I'm filling up my cup. I'm keeping my mind fucking clear and sharp. I'm not allowing for things outside of me, outside my control, to overwhelm me, to make me feel fucking like shit. I'm not staying up all night overthinking things that I can't change or control. Any of you doing that? Any of you even extra tired today? Not only did you lose an hour over the weekend, but you stressed the fuck out. Because again, 120,000 motherfuckers dying every year from stress related from work, right? Work related fucking stress, occupational stress, man, heart attacks and shit. And leads to what? All these vices, all these bad fucking habits. And so it's so important, man, that you figure out what the fuck you want to do in life, right? I spent 6 years in this space in helping adults, right, transition in life at Santa Fe Community College. And one of the big pieces was the career interest assessment. They have these things online. It's free. It's like a little assessment you take. And you'd be surprised. Some of y'all are doing shit that it don't align with who you are, with a part of who you are in this day and age. And it's like, it's so important that whatever it is that you do, we've always hear these sayings that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And there is so much truth in that. But a lot of times that comes from like athletes or, entrepreneurs. And then there are people that we don't feel that we're equal to. We feel less of them. So we don't feel that we're worthy, right? Because we're beating ourselves up all the time. We don't feel worthy to step out or to switch some things up. And you don't got to be drastic and just walk away from the job. But I had that experience this past summer. I signed up, I had to leave Santa Fe Community College, right? I had a leadership role there. I was very much in my groove, very much in charge of the Veterans Resource Center. And we had new administration come in the summer of 2019. And they, anytime a leadership power transition happens, we see it in our country. We're seeing it right now, right? Transition of power. It's a different point of view. It shakes shit up. And so even for me, after 6 years, I was like, fuck, this new administration is not aligned with me. I felt very uneasy, right? I felt like I wasn't being heard. I wasn't being valued. I felt like my job satisfaction, right? Job satisfaction had gone fucking way, way, way down. And so, we don't always have the opportunity to jump ship, but I said, you know what, maybe I do want to get into teaching. And so I applied, and I got some advice first, and then I applied, had an interview. And once I had the interview, I said, all right, I guess this is meant to be. And there was also some really cool stuff based on my past, right? A lot of you motherfuckers are like, how the fuck did this guy get to be a teacher, right? Because they got background checks. They do background checks, all this shit. But all my shit checks out, man. I've always been accountable for my shit. I'm not proud of all this shit, but I've always been accountable for it. So I had to go through the background checks, which was another good lesson for even my daughter, who was 13 at the time, because here I am way into the future from even this and even my DWIs from like 20 fucking plus years. And I had to account for that shit still, right? And had to go to the court and get all those documents and turn it into I had to, sorry guys, I had to fucking, I had to go and turn in all my documents and even give explanations for the DWIs and the domestic violences and all this shit. And I thought it was going to take them a while to issue me out a teacher cert, but it happened quick. And I was like, all right, this is meant to be. And it was really cool how the door opened. And so I had to, at that time, make the decision that, hey, I'm going to let go of something I was very passionate about, helping out veterans at Santa Fe Community College. Like, man, I wore that shit on my sleeve. Award-winning program, and even receiving nationally awards for my work there. And I had to let that go. And then I walked into the classroom and I really fell in love with teaching. And then COVID hit this time in 2020, right? 2 years ago. It was right before spring break. And I had just started kind of getting my groove and figuring out how to manage all these little kids, man, all these little brats. Man, some of these kids are brats, and it's because their parents are fucking brats. So if you're one of these parents, you're probably a bratty person too, man. Your kids are brats. But that's another topic. But when we talk about transitioning, I stuck it out, right? They sent us home. We did the remote learning for over a year. I was one of the first people to say, all right, when they said in April of 2021, so not even a year ago, there was a call to get back in the classroom, and I was one of the first people to say, all right, let's go. And not only did I get in the classroom, it was voluntary for the kids. I called every parent. I said, get your kids, you need to get these kids' butts back in the class. If this is what we're doing, let's go 100%. And I did. I literally I was the only teacher that had a full class, right? Which was nice because everyone else was doing however many kids would show up. And this is the challenge of that pandemic, was teaching remote. Fucking so hard, man. Trying to teach kids in person is already a challenge. Trying to teach kids when they're sitting at home picking their nose, playing with their fucking devices at home, distracted by siblings and pets and all this stuff, man. It was a nightmare. These kids didn't learn. These kids didn't learn for 2 years. I don't care what age they were. The learning was fucking, it is garbage. It was pandemic fucking crisis education. This wasn't real learning. And it sucks for this generation because they're behind. They're definitely behind. I'm seeing it in my son. My daughter, not so much, but she actually thrived in the remote. But I want to stay to this transition of career, right? I went back to the classroom because I wanted to see if I had lost what I had, right? I wanted to see if I still had the passion and the zeal and the drive to be a teacher, to stick that out and, kind of hit get the experience of the classroom teacher, maybe move into administration. Was I really going to kind of be a part of education, public education in this country? And I'll be honest with you, man, the pandemic changed me and it changed my perspective. I transformed as a fucking human being, as a man, in really profound ways, because I've been talking about 10 years of fucking transformation, 10 years of sobriety, and getting on here every day on the It's All On Me morning show, the morning fucking drinking show, man. I had to be honest with myself. And I got a lot of guilt trips, man. Like, I knew that it just wasn't for me. I was like in the box. It was the type of communication that I was experiencing. I feel that in public education, they don't value teachers. Like, here in New Mexico, they're about to give teachers a little pay bump. And I say little, but it's a nice pay bump. But it's still gonna, I don't know if it's gonna make the biggest difference, but it's better than nothing. And the job is just so stressful. And it's not just from the students, it's from the pressure from administrations. It's the pressure of policies and politicians and bullshit. And it's really all about test results. It's not really about learning, man. And that's what's fucked. And so I had to make the decision. It was a tough, long decision to say, I'm going to step away from this. My heart is to help these kids, but at the end of the day, I don't want to change that. I still want to help kids. I want to help people. I want to make a difference. But is me being in that system was it the right fit for me? And at the end of the day, I had to say, no, it's not the right fit. So I walked away from that and I stepped into another career, and it was like a little nervous. I was like, fuck, okay, I'm going to step away from this. I had all this time available to me being a teacher. You know, right now teachers are off on spring break and we get all kinds of time off, right? All these cool winter break. And, you know, a lot of you parents probably think like, man, kind of jealous, you know, fuck, these guys get all kinds of time off. But man, go try and watch fucking 20, 10-year-old kids or any age-year-old kids, managing them, right? It's a fucking challenge. It drains you, right? We talk about energy drain. Man, I would when we'd get off at like 3:30, I'd come home and power nap, man, because I'd be so mentally and emotionally and just physically drained from the day, from just all the energy it takes to manage people, manage kids. And so it took me a lot to step away from there, and I got a lot of fucking pushback. A lot of people were disappointed. Oh man, I can't believe you're leaving education. Oh man, the kids. Oh man, this, that. And you know, at the end of the day, guys, you got to do what's right for you. That's the bottom line of the it's all on me. You got to know your fucking story. You got to know your worth, your value. What do you want? What do you love? What do you hate? What do you want and why? Those things every single day, because it changes. What do you love? What do you hate? What do you want and why? Journal that shit. What do you love? What do you hate? What do you want and why? That helps you to discover kind of who am I? Because throughout different phases of your life, this stuff changes. There's transition, there's transformation that happens. We look at things, life experiences changes who we are. And so really in this day and age, the career person that works the job for 20, 30 years, I mean, that's becoming less and less the normal because of how much things are shaking up in this world. You know, people are becoming displaced for all various reasons. And, you know, some of you are just staying stuck in life, looking at a retirement, looking at something and it's based on fear of stepping out. And there was fear when I was like, I'm going to switch from the Santa Fe or from public education into this program leadership role at a humane society here in town, doing community outreach, helping out really people that were struggling and hurting. And so I did it. I submitted my resignation letter as a teacher, and it was kind of sad. Like, you know, the public education, they didn't give me two fucks. They never reached back out to me. They literally just, I didn't even get like a, hey, thank you for your time. Like there was nothing. It was probably just a fuck you, motherfucker. They're just so overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. They're missing a lot of teachers in the classroom, and I get it. It sucks. But I still see my coworkers, they're miserable every week. They're happy when they get the time off, right? It gets them an opportunity to recharge, but in the week-to-week grind, I see them. They're the ones broadcasting all this sad, woe is me. Oh my God, worst day ever. I hate myself. I hate my job. My kids hate me. All this stuff, man. It's like, it's a challenging thing. But then I stepped into this other role, you guys, and I haven't really talked about this piece. Was when I moved back from Southern California, and this is going back prior to the Drunk Motherfucker 2012, so 2009, I told myself, you know, in Southern California, living that life, I'd commuted, man. And there was the commute in Southern California can be like a 40-mile commute that could take 40 minutes, right? Going 90 on the fucking freeway, or it could take 4 fucking hours. It sucks. You know, it sucks crawling up a freeway, crawling, man. Holy shit. And you can't do nothing about it. Takes a lot of patience to drive out there, man. And I told myself, moving back here to New Mexico, I'm never going to commute, right? I created a limiting belief. I said, I'm never going to commute. Well, the thing about this job I took after teaching last summer was it required commuting. And the thing about it is when I say I had changed as a person, I really had started to re-become my authentic self, right? The entrepreneur, the independent free thinker, the person that's the motherfucker that's showing up here right now every fucking day. I don't give two fucks. And so I took on this role that put me in a lot of uncomfortable situations, but I always give 100%. But I had to commute, right? It was going into a really rough part of one of the toughest communities, the roughest communities we have here in northern New Mexico in terms of poverty, drug addiction, just all kind crime, all kinds of shit, man. It was really a fucking rough environment that we were going into, and our job was to go into the worst neighborhoods where literally, guys, third world country, no running water. I mean, this is 30 minutes from where I'm sitting right now. No running water, no electricity, people starving, suffering all around. And our thing was to try and help people improve their relationship with their pets. So a lot of these in New Mexico, a lot of pets get put on the leash still and outside, and they don't have proper shelter and warmth. And so we were trying to address all those needs. And then obviously we wanted to spay and neuter, right? Because you have a lot of unwanted pets and just, they landed up in the shelter. So it was really a proactive approach, but we could also address human suffering. And it was a build the program from the ground up, right? And I literally started this job. It was the beginning of August. And so it would have been around the same time I would have been starting teaching. And so, this program was amazing in theory. And I literally started by building the chair that I sat on, right? I built the chair, I built the desks in this office. Like that was the start of the program I was running. And then I started to build a team. And then we started to go out in the community and started connecting with people and started making a difference, like building a presence and building awareness, and then really building relationships with people that were hurting and really addressing their needs by giving out handouts and giving them resources and support. And to make the long story short, guys, in my opinion, this program was kicking ass, but it was a very new space for me, like humane society, animal stuff, animal welfare, right? Very new to me. And I show up with a big passion in my heart. And to make a long story short, you guys, I was kicking ass, and I got fired for this job. It was the first time in my life that I ever got fired. And the reason being is irrelevant, right? I could tell you that the week I got fired, I went from on Tuesday night addressing the local governing board, the mayor, the city council, because they were so impressed at what we were doing that 4 days later, I was let go of because of some decisions I had made that didn't result in a negative consequence, but they were scared of them and saying, whoa, you shouldn't have done that, even though it didn't result in anything negative. And it was just sometimes when you're in a leadership role, you're going to make a call, and I'm willing to own that. But I see past all that. There's not really excuses to make. There's not really like anything for me to say like, oh man, I would have done everything I've done that I did, that I was told this is the reason. I would have done it the exact same way. I'm not going to second guess myself, because at the end of the day, the decision I made did not result in anything bad happening. We actually helped human beings out. And because of the way that it played itself out, like, I guess you could sit there and say, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if this had happened? None of that happened. And that it's all speculative. But yet that created enough fear in other people. But I think there was other shit going on. It doesn't matter. I truly looked at it as like, I've been asking the universe, right, to get me to the next level, right? I'm putting in the work every fucking day. That's what this all comes back to. I'm putting in the fucking work, motherfuckers. And yet I liked the commute because I actually had started this blog. It was a video blog with just myself, right? So it's kind of like journaling, but when I was commuting, I would hit record and I would just have conversations with myself to try and motivate myself, hold myself accountable. So I liked the commute for that. But I really do believe it was amazing. The day I got fired, I was running really fucking thin, you guys. I was getting super exhausted. I was running 4 10-hour shifts. So the weeks that I would have my kids as a parent, I wasn't really able to connect with my kids. I was leaving at 6 in the morning, coming home at 7 at night, exhausted because I had an hour commute both ways. And it was really draining me. And I know that I was still plugged into my program. I was plugged into everything that I talk about here every motherfucking day, right? I was still doing all this shit and really growing as a person, looking to the universe to say, I want to go next level, building up different ideas, gearing myself up because I put myself in that uncomfortable situation so I would kind of feel the burn of saying, man, I don't want to be doing this. This isn't what I want to do. And I'm going to put myself in this uncomfortable situation so that I can have some more motivation, hunger and desire to actually put in the extra work. Because I talk to you guys, the 9 to 5 pays your bills. The 5 to 9 is what's going to fulfill your life. Did you hear me? The 9 to 5, right? Punching the clock this morning, working Monday through Friday, whatever your schedule is, that might pay your bills, right? But the 5 to 9 is what's going to pay for your dreams to become a reality. You got to invest in yourself. And I was doing that. I was putting in all this work, the 4 o'clock a.m., working out by 6. You know, I wasn't doing this blog, so I had a little extra time, and I'm giving them my time to do this because it matters to me, right? I can't tell you how many of you guys reach out to me and say, I'm inspired by you. It's like, fuck, man. Every time I hear that, it humbles me, man. It really does. It gets me emotional. When you guys reach out and say, you inspire me, it fucking blows me away, man. That shit messes me up. It really does humble me out to think that my story, my message can be inspiring other people in ways that I don't know. And I have a story about tomorrow or yesterday. Let me just close out the firing and where it has led me to. Is it was really humbling, man. I was like, holy fuck, I got fired. This is funny. But it was I really felt it was the universe saying, look, man, you're fucking bink. You know, you're doing something you don't want to do. Right? You're not happy. You like, we're going to kick you out of this thing. We're going to free you from this and see what you do now. We're going to see what you do. And from that moment forward, I said, all right, never again. I've been my own boss. I was my own boss by the time I was like 22 years old. And I hustled hard and I know what it is to do that. And I love that freedom and independence. It comes with a lot of sacrifice. And guess what? I find myself in that boat right now. I have partners. But I went to even the partners in this situation I'm in right now, redoing this motel. As I said, look, if you're looking to hire somebody that you're the boss of, I'm not the person for you, right? I will be your apprentice, your associate, or your partner. And if we break a deal, I will be your partner. I will have a seat at the table of this Airbnb real estate venture that you guys have. That's it. That's it, motherfuckers. And that's where I find myself now, fully in charge of myself, right? And I appreciate it. But you think about chalking up a loss, like being fired, you're like, holy fuck. Let me tell you, it was already the best day ever. Because for the first time in 2 years when I got fired, I was able, for the first time in 2 years, shit that matters to me, I was able to pick my kids up from school, you guys. Right. Prior to that, man, they were having to ride the bus, and the bus fucking sucks when you're in like high school. Come on, man. I mean, especially because I only get to see my kids half the month. It matters. Little shit like that matters. Right. For me, to show up for my kids, pick them up, drop them off, be present. That shit matters to me because I want them to know I fucking care about them. And because I only get to see them for half the month, like little shit like that goes a fucking long way, man. Being able to pick them up and drop them off. And I wasn't able to do that with this job. And for the first time in 2 years, the day I got fired, I got to pick up my kids. And it was beautiful. I was so excited. And the very next day, the next week, that was a Friday, on I'm picking up my kids, and I started my little company, Yeast, right? Which is still going, motherfuckers. And it was so cool that I had launched the company, launched the website. I literally pick up my kids, they get in the car, and I get my first order. And I'm like, fuck, man, hell yeah, this is what it was meant to be. And so since that time, I've told myself I am going to design the perfect day, the perfect week, the perfect month, and start living my best life again. I'm not going to go and be muted, be edited by the fucking world, which I was edited in public education, higher education, and definitely at this humane society. I felt constrained. There was weird shit going on there. But I was glad to be set free, right? It didn't destroy me. I didn't victimize myself. I literally saw being fired. I'm like, all right, right? Amen. Answer to my calls, to my thoughts of saying, hey, I want to get to this next level. Clearly, I'm not going to do it commuting, wearing myself thin, giving the best of who I am. That's what I'm coming down to. The message today is you're giving the best of who you are at your job right now. Or are you? And is the best of who you are someone that's fucking emotionally drained, exhausted, miserable as fuck? You gotta check in with yourself when it comes to this stuff. And so here's my message for today, the journey to the top. Yesterday, I went on this hike, and it was here local. It's a really cool hike, man, 3,000 foot ascent. But the trail was really speaking to me because we've had snow lately here in northern New Mexico, and then it's like warm temperatures. You know, New Mexico is very bipolar in the springish months. Like it's fucking cloudy today, it's hot tomorrow, it'll be cloudy and stormy for the weekend, and then hot again next week. It doesn't know what the fuck it wants to do. We just need moisture, so let's get it. But the trail, it was full of what? Mud. I mean, it was muddy, slippy, muddy. And then there was like ice pack and snow pack and dirt and rocks. And it's like the whole thing that I set out for is to what? Get to the top of this mountain. And so it's almost like I've always used that analogy in life, whether it's when I was pursuing education, higher education, like to get to that associate's was a little mountaintop. And once I got to the associates, I looked up and I said, oh shit, there's another fucking mountain called the bachelor's. Let's go do that one, right? And then I get up to the bachelor's degree and I'm like, ah, fuck, there's another fucking mountain. Let's go do that one, right? And now that I'm at a master's degree, there's still another fucking mountain up there. And it's in the back of my mind. But again, it's the journey. It's not just the fucking destination and the finish line. Right? Because most of y'all motherfuckers are still staring at the starting line of something that you need to do to fucking change your life up. Maybe it's just doing a Google search today for career interest assessment and taking a free career interest assessment to try and see what are your passions? What kind of careers really align with who you are as a fucking human being? Right? Because even if shit hits the fan, you're going to be needing to fall back on something that flows through you, a trade, a skill, something that you bring to the marketplace that really is authentically part of who you are, the things that you love, right? The passion and the natural gifted skills you have. And this is what a career interest assessment does. But what was amazing is I'm walking along this trail, and I'm having to it's not just walking straight up the trail. I'm having to jump from one side to the other and bunny hop and scurry up rocks and boulders and snow and ice. And I didn't slip or anything. I mean, there was a few places in the mud. You kind of get a little squirrely. But here's the cool thing is I run into this lady, and there's there's two phases to this hike. There's like this canyon phase that's dark, and that's where all the mud and rocks and the snow was, right? Because it's in a canyon and it's very rocky, and you're climbing in the canyon. It's darker, and then you kind of hit a pass, and then there's two false peaks until you get to the top. It's a 3,000 foot ascent, and I ran into this lady past the first pass and then going up to the first false peak, and just a quick greeting, hey. And she was like, hey, go ahead and go ahead in front of me. And I don't get why people do this, but let's talk about this. So this interaction I have with this lady on the journey to the top, this was fucking crazy, you guys. It was really crazy cool because I got blown away yesterday. I don't get blown away too much. But I had this encounter with this lady and we just, hey, how you doing? How you doing? How's it going? And she asked me, hey, is this the right trail to the peak, to the top? And I said, yeah, but it was getting late. I did a sunset hike last night. And so I had my headlamp. I had all kinds of gear. And this lady didn't have nothing. She had a walking stick and some little knit mittens. And I said, yeah, just be careful because there's some different routes. There's a lot of little rabbit trails up there. And it was going to get dark within the next hour and a half. I said, yeah, just make sure you know where you're going and maybe take a picture of some of the little maps so that you can get yourself out of here. And she's all, oh, yeah, really? She's like, how much farther is it? I'm like, it's still a pretty good ways. Like, come over here. Look, like the peak's way up there. So you need to get moving. And she's like, well, maybe I should turn back. And I was like, no, fuck no. I was like, didn't you come here to get to the top? Get your ass to the top of the mountain, right? Like, I'm just talking to a total stranger like this. You need to get your ass to the top. Get your ass to the top, but just be ready that if it gets dark on you, you know what trails to take to get back to the parking lot. And she's like, yeah, you're right. You look like you probably know what you're doing. And she's like, you're probably a lot more experienced than me. So, okay. And I said, all right, have a nice day. And she said, have a nice day. And I left. I departed. Well, I got up to the false summit and I'm kind of playing around. I was taking some pictures and just enjoying the scenery and doing what I do, which is really just out there dating nature and enjoying all the things that are happening out there in nature, disconnecting from this shit, people, even though I encountered this. And for some reason, I felt bad because I almost felt like she had a spirit of defeat on her. Why do some people do that, right? It's not a man or woman thing. But she was like, oh, you're better than me. Oh, you're this. Like I just felt like she had a defeated spirit on her because she didn't really know where she was going. She didn't know how it was going to get. And even though I planted a seed, get your ass to the top of the mountain. If that's what you came here to do, she was from Houston. I said, get your ass to the top, right? Whatever it takes, get up there, but just be ready to fucking know how to get out of here because it's going to get dark quick. She's like, wasn't there an hour change? I was like, yeah, but it's already 6 o'clock. That's within an hour. So hopefully you get up there and back. I didn't see the lady again until, and I kept thinking about her. I was like, fuck, I should have told her that there was this false summit because she hadn't been on this trail before so that she could have at least got the view. And because I hadn't seen her, I felt really bad. I was like, that I should have at least encouraged her. Hey, well, at least get up to this summit here. And if you decide to turn around, then do that. And for some reason, she kind of kept popping up in my head, like fucking with me. I'm like, dude, I feel bad that I encouraged her to get to the top, but I should have told her there's a summit here that has a beautiful view. And she could have at least got there because part of me felt that maybe she had turned back, that she got a little dissuaded, a little discouraged, right? Any of you guys get discouraged where you turn back on shit? You start something new and then you turn back, right? And I felt that on her. Lo and behold, man, an hour later, I'm hiking and I'm getting right up to the top. I'm taking some pictures. I'm right towards the top and it's getting dark. The sunset's looking beautiful. And literally, I hadn't seen this lady the whole trail. And the lady comes walking down the fucking top of the mountain. I'm like, I mean, I wish I could have had a picture of her taking a picture of me of my face because I was shocked. I was like, what the fuck? What? You made it? She's like, hey, I made it. She's like, I think I made it up to the top. She was like kind of a little cocky about it. I think I made it up to the top. But here's what she said. She said, I did exactly what you said what to do. And I was like, no fucking shit. Holy shit. You're a warrior. She gave me a little fist bump. She's like, fuck yeah, I am. I was like, good job, man. I'm really proud of you. Holy fuck. Great job. And then she just disappeared. And I'm like, what the fuck? Did she literally just walk straight up the mountain? And she didn't even look like she had broken a sweat. But there she was way down below, struggling in the darks. But she probably finally got past that. And I was over there taking pictures. This didn't even see her. And she boogied up there. And it was like, it was so crazy of an experience to see that. Look, the journey to the top, it's very different for each and every one of us, right? The trail is full of mud sometimes, rock. And I'm talking about the journey of life. It's rugged. It's a rugged fucking terrain, you guys. And sometimes you got to have the right shoes, the right equipment. But ultimately, it's having the right fucking mindset. And that's where it begins and ends every fucking day, is where is your mind, your mindset? Do you believe you can get to the top? Did me just telling her, hey, get your ass up to the top, even though I had doubt, I felt her negativity, but somehow I planted a seed, and then it wasn't even me. I'm not trying to take fucking credit for this, because it was her. It was me revealing in her that she could do it. And the fact that I hadn't seen her the whole way, and I'm up there at the top enjoying it, like right before the very top, there was a tree, and she comes walking out. I was totally fucking, it was like a ghost. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Where did you come from? It made my day. But she's like, I did exactly what you said. I got to the fucking top. Thank you. And she gave me a little fist bump. And I was like, you're a fucking warrior. That's fucking badass. I'm rarely surprised like that. And she surprised the fuck out of me. And it felt so great. And I walked out of there in the dark. But then here was another lady. I had another encounter in the dark when it was like pitch black. I mean, I had the fucking sunbeam fucking headlamp on. And this other lady's walking in the dark with two dogs. And I walk up on her. There's this little snowy area. And she's all, oh, you forgot your fucking, your crampons too, huh? And I'm like, no, I don't think you need crampons for this shit. I got good traction. She's like, oh, well, I don't have good traction. And last a couple of years ago, she turned victim on me. She's like, oh, well, I broke both my wrists falling on ice. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, wait, you're saying that you should have had some gear and you're wearing fucking smooth shoes after you've broken both your wrists, that you didn't learn the fucking lesson. And the first thing that you announced to me is that I'm missing gear. You're worried for my safety, but here you have had something painful happen to you, an accident, and you didn't learn from it. You're still out here hiking in the dark with fucking flat, smooth bottoms without any traction. Because I told her, I'm good. I got traction. I don't have traction. I'm slipping down this. I'm like, how did you not learn the lesson, lady? But how many of you motherfuckers don't want to learn the fucking lesson? You have the broken wrist and you keep going out there with smooth fucking bottoms. You don't have the gear. You're not being mindful of the fucking trail that you're on. You're in the dark. All you had to do is order a fucking $20 headlamp. All you had to do is get some fucking decent shoes, some hiking shoes that have some fucking grit so that you don't fall on your ass again. And this is the story of life, you guys, is we all want to get to the fucking top. We all want the fucking quick to the top, right? When you go skiing or snowboarding, right? The fucking, the lift takes you to the top. Well, there's this new sport where motherfuckers actually hike up the top with their skis on. It's amazing. I think it's cool as fuck. I'll probably try it in the years to come. And they earn their fucking trip down. But most of us, we just want to pay the lift ticket because it shoots us up to the top and we get to go down, whee, and have fun going down. But how many of us want to earn and appreciate the journey to the top? So many of you guys have given up on life because life hits you in the fucking face that here you are on your journey. You're hitting some mud, you're hitting some snow, you're hitting some rugged terrain, and you didn't fucking prepare yourself for this shit. So you've given up. Or you have at least taken a time out that's put you on the fucking sideline, and you're kind of looking at the top now and saying it's too far, right? It's going to be too hard. It's too much for me to do. I need to just stay here because at least here I'm in a situation that I can handle. I don't have to move forward. If I want to go back, it's easier to go down, which I always say it's more dangerous going back down than it is. It's harder going up, right? When you're going up a mountain, but it's more dangerous going down because you can slide. It's faster. Gravity, right? Your feet can fall from under you, slipping out from under you, right? But the journey up is harder. And at least in the harderness, there's growth, there's strength, you're building muscle, right? And it's an opportunity for you to achieve something. But most of us in this day and age, it's like we want the quick fucking fix. We want the lotto win. We want the fucking 6-figure job when we're not putting in 6-figure work. Do you realize that? You got to put in 6-figure work. And it starts with your fucking attitude each and every day, motherfuckers. And so if you're showing up somewhere on a Monday or whatever your fucking work week starts, and you got a shitty attitude, guess what? That's your pay. Your pay is shit. Your attitude shit, your pay shit. Some of you might even have a big paycheck and your attitude is still shit. So then at the end of the day, what could it be like if you actually just change your fucking attitude? Because maybe you could be the person that can actually influence the environment you're in. And it's hard. It's hard to change cultural environments, whether it's in a relationship, intimate, workplace, family, any type of relationship where people come together, right? You could be the one person that stands up against it, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be lonely. It's going to have a lot of pressure to fold and to give in. But if you have the fucking gear to prepare, look, making one message of encouragement, telling a complete stranger, get your fucking ass to the top if that's what you came here to do, right? You might get a little dark after. It may get dark. You may be not prepared, but at least get your ass to the fucking top. And she's like, we'll see, we'll see. She sounded very doubtful. That's why it blew me the fuck away that she beat me to the top. But I was all fucking around in nature, right? Taking pictures and just kind of going off trail and having fun. But she beat me to the top and it blew me the fuck away, right? I was so excited for her. I couldn't believe it because I thought she had given up and I was kind of down. I was like, fuck, man, it sucks when people give up on themselves. She did it. She surprised me. And I tie that back to this message because there's a lot of you that are watching and tuning in to this drunk motherfucker talk all this shit every day and you don't engage with me. Right? I'm talking to you. I'm inspiring you. I'm encouraging you. I'm challenging your fucking asses. And you don't reach out to me. You're a viewer, but you don't engage. You don't like, you don't comment, you don't reach out to me privately, but you are listening to this message on a regular basis. And I appreciate you. It's okay. You can stay in the shadows. But just like this lady, I'm going to have a quick encounter where I'm saying something that's inspiring you. But when you accomplish something in life, I hope at some point, man, you'll come back and share that story with me because it inspires me. It keeps me going. It keeps me encouraged. When you are fucking being motivated to change something up in your life. And I tell you guys, it doesn't matter big or small. You don't have to change everything. I said yesterday, what are 5 things that you want to do different? Write that shit down. 5 things. And the piece that I didn't say, because I know some of you right away wrote 5 things down and we're like, and it's a lot. And then you're going to let yourself down because maybe you're not going to be able to do all 5 of those. So I was going to tell you, whittle the list down, write 5 things that you'd like to do either today, this week, or for the rest of March. And then whittle that list down to the 3 things. And then you need to pick of the 3, pick number 1. Right? And it's not that you're going to let those other things slide, but you really, in order to start rebuilding yourself, you have to make a promise and a commitment to yourself to do the one thing, the most important thing on there. And don't pick the hardest fucking thing, right? Because if you can commit yourself to doing one thing, it doesn't have to be the hardest. It doesn't have to be the most important thing on your list of 5. It needs to be the thing that you feel is the most obtainable right now, but will give you some fucking positive benefit and some positive feedback of building up what? Your self-confidence, your self-fucking worth, your self-belief. Because right now, so many of us are living in this negative self-talk where we don't believe in ourselves, right? We've let shit go and we've let shit slide for so long. We let people walk all over us. We feel obligated to just sell ourselves out in order to be what? Accepted by other fucking people, whether that's in our personal lives or our fucking work lives or whatever. And so you need to start rebuilding your self-confidence little by little. And the way you do that is by committing yourself to something that matters to you on your 5 list. That could be something like, I'm going to sign up for the gym and I'm going to show up Create a fucking guide to say, okay, if I sign up for a gym, right, I'm committed to going at least 3 times for the first 2 weeks. Don't tell yourself I'm going to go every fucking day. If you don't have a routine down, build up to that. Start small. There's a really great book, Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits. I love sharing books with you guys. Listen to this. Atomic Habits. If you're someone that has bad habits, that wants to start switching and conditioning in some new habits, Atomic Habits, man, you got to start small. Right? And it's almost dumb to say like, hey, go to the gym for 5 minutes. If you haven't been to the gym in 3 weeks, right? A month, a year, sign up for a gym, pick any fucking gym and go for 5 minutes. And it sounds dumb, for 5 minutes, but look, you kept a promise to yourself. And the chances are that even if you don't go, the chances are if you show up to the gym, you're going to stay more than 5 minutes. Right? But then the next day, try 10 minutes, then 15, then 20. You guys catch this, right? You build yourself up. Just like if you want to switch up your nutrition to something healthier, you want to try some of this plant-based nutrition, don't try and go all plant-based. I didn't. I took July, August, September. I took 3 months of transitioning to like half of my meals, then 3 of 4 out of the 4. And then October 1st, I switched to everything. And it was all based on I wanted to get my blood done so I could really see if this nutrition was really making an impact. And it has. It's changed me. I will never go back. I just don't see any reason why to go back to eating a Western healthy diet, right? Animal protein and all this other bullshit. Lean fucking meat. Bullshit, man. It ain't healthy. For me, you do you. At the end of the day, you got to write down 5 things you want to do. Right? It starts now. Do a career interest assessment. I'm going to try and find that link because that does matter to me that I share this information with you guys. A good resource to do a career interest assessment for those of you that are thinking about switching things up. And knowing that probably a community college or a trade school is a really good place. Some of you may want to go to the big time university. Just make sure it's a public institution that's accredited. And dude, the community college here in Santa Fe has some incredible programs. So I know probably the community college, the junior colleges in your own backyard probably have some amazing fucking classes, some amazing fucking courses and degrees available for you to level up your education so that you can do something that you love, that you're passionate about. And you're going to have to sacrifice. You might have to fucking go to school at night. You may have to give up your weekends. Give up that fucking free time. But guess what? If it's something that's going to improve your fucking life, your overall fucking life and well-being for the future, why the fuck are you wasting your time living miserable and being depressed, right? Being anxious, being less than your fucking best. I'm challenging you guys. This week is the week. Let's get after it. It's the journey to the top. Do not expect a fucking escalator or an elevator to take you to the fucking top every time. Be willing to put in the work. That is the best journey. It is the most rewarding fucking journey you can have in this life. Is the one that you're willing to go overcome some obstacles, persevere, get knocked down, get back up. Sometimes you'll meet a stranger. They're going to pick you up. Sometimes you're going to be the person to pick them up and make a difference. And you don't have to do it with like an expectation. It's just a quick passing. There was no attachment to those encounters I had last night. It was just quick and easy. A greeting, a little encouragement, and a well wish for the future of their life. I'll never probably see these people again. And we touched each other's lives in a profound way that I'm now able to share this message with you motherfuckers. Remember, earn the fucking top. Don't expect that fucking trail to always be smooth and easy. Take the steep road. Challenge yourself. That's where you're going to find out who you truly are. But if you're afraid to even take on a fucking new challenge, what the fuck? You're selling yourself short. You need to challenge yourself. We need challenges. Quit resisting challenge. Quit resisting things that you think are hard. Those are limiting beliefs. Tell yourself this: I can do this. Look yourself in the mirror. Think of something you want to do and say, I can do this. I will do this. I have to do this. right? I'm made to do this. The thing that's on your fucking mind, the things that are on your list, get that shit done, because remember, results kill excuses. It's all on me. Greg's out.